So I don't know how many of you were with us for, it's been 3 years now, eh? For 3 years or more. Yeah. A little over 3 years ago, was it more than 3 years ago?
No, 3 years, but same age as the baby. The baby was just born.
She just turned 3, though. Yeah, you're right. So 3 years ago, I had gone to New Zealand to speak in New Zealand. Jess, did you ever meet Jess?
No.
You guys are far enough away, yeah. She doesn't work with them anymore, but nice lady. Jess had asked me to come over to speak in New Zealand. Tour around, we'd do a few little speaking engagements and, talk to the people over there about what the stable was doing, because she recognized, like Daniel did and most other people, the power of what we're doing, and nobody sees it more than right now, the power of what we are doing in horse racing. So I got a call. Addie was just about to be born. We had some concerns. She was going to be premature, and I had some worries. But Daniel, there was a time concern. It was a sale.
Yeah,
it was a sale.
Yeah.
So they wanted me to come over and speak all over Australia about fractional ownership, what we were doing, how it would work, and how it would work well in Australia. The timing was tight because Amy couldn't come. Not allowed to travel with. She wasn't allowed to travel with the baby because she was too young. So Kelly took her spot. Worked out well. Kelly and I traveled all over Australia, and Daniel was our tour guide. So how many tracks did we speak at? Do you remember?
3.
Only 3 in Australia?
Yep.
What were the only 3 places I talked?
Menangle, with me, Menangle, Bathurst and Newcastle, and you went down to Victoria and spoke at a couple of them, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that's right. And then we had, and then I spoke at the APG sale. I still got that video.
At the APG sale.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Anyway, the gist of it is that the same everywhere. These guys were ahead of the curve, could see what we were doing, and had me down there to speak about fractional ownership. So Daniel and I I remember vividly. I tell the story all the time. I don't know if you were there when the young man put his hand up and asked me and told me. I remember it very vividly. He said, "Mr. McDonald, it sounds, when you talk about fractional ownership, it sounds like you make it sound so easy, but it's not. It's very difficult. And here in Australia, it's really difficult with all the hurdles and the laws and whatnot." And he said, I just don't think it's as easy as you think it is. And I remember there was a voice somewhere in my head just said to leave it alone. But it was really quiet. It wasn't as loud as the other voice telling me to prove it wrong.
I don't remember. I don't remember the person, but anyway.
I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll buy some horses at the sale in 2 days, and I'll show you exactly how easy it is. So we bought some horses that day. We bought Girl from Oz, and she's been a good horse for us. She was 4th last night. Raced great. How many wins does she have now?
She's had about 8 or 10 wins. She's won over $120,000 in prize money, I think. So she's done really good.
She's been a good filly for us down under, and it allows our clients to look at something different, which is important to us. But with Daniel, he stayed involved with us, and I was a little surprised when he said how many horses you owned with us last night. I didn't realize it was that many. So Daniel come over here to come to the Mohawk Millions tonight to watch Crantini. Taiwan On's racing tonight, obviously, and more importantly, Daniel's coming to the Lexington sale to hang out with us down there. Now, you have some family in Michigan, but you can and you will if you're in Lexington. I keep telling everybody, if you've never been to the Lexington Select, if you've never been to Fasig-Tipton, the grounds of Fasig-Tipton, do yourself a favor and make your way to Lexington this year. It is an amazing site. It's really, really, it's like no other sale you've been to. And I was saying to Daniel, it's a lot like the sale I was at the APG sale that day. Just a different feel. The atmosphere is electric all the time, and it's just really, really cool. And it's the pinnacle of our season too, because the majority of they're in Harrisburg, but I can guarantee you, after looking at the sale this year, it will be Lexington, where we acquire the vast majority of what our stable looks like for 2023. So glad you come over. So tell everybody too, like your background, how you get into horse racing. I know you're big into chickens, you were, but what Cordina Farms, do they still have the banner?
Yeah.
I showed somebody something. I said, Daniel Cordina, I said, watch a replay from Menangle and you see the big. I noticed your banner was bigger and it was right down by the wire, so everybody had to see it.
Yeah, well, we have been sponsoring Menangle now for the last 30 years. and
It's a good reason to have it there then.
We are one of the major sponsors for the track, and that's hence the reason why we've got our logo at the winning post. Yeah, and look, we've been in business for 70 odd years, and we had the opportunity and the fortunate opportunity to sell the business last year, which we did. Hence my retirement, and hence why I'm here. So, because other than that, I wouldn't have come. So,
well, I'm glad you're not too old to fly.
Yeah, that's right.
So Daniel joined us, and it's been such a crazy summer. His arrival was like on a Thursday. It wasn't like, hey, Daniel's coming today, and we met in Guelph, went to dinner, and going to the race tonight. But it'll be a lot of fun in Lexington. It may not be an eye-opening experience for you because, as I said, it's a lot like the APG sale we went to. But I'll tell you what's different. The feel of the sale, totally different. Totally different. And the sale itself on the spec looks the same, but when you get to see those horses go through the ring on night one, it is really, really cool. And I always say it always seems like we approach it nice, calm, and cool and collect, but when the sale hits, it almost feels like the floor of the stock market. It's just everything is moving very, very quickly. So I'm
looking forward to the day one because I've never been to a night sale.
Oh, that's right too.
I've never been to a night sale. We do have the odd night sale in Melbourne. I've never been to one.
Yeah,
but this will be my first.
It's really, really cool, especially because it starts at 7:30. Yeah. So everybody wants to go out and have an early supper, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Yeah. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row. For day one, you don't want to make a mistake.
That's right.
Because there could be a good horse fall through the cracks. Yeah. Every year on year one, we got Bomb Hugger on day one, number 5. Yeah. We every year we end up with some horses on day one, but if you're not paying attention, they'll pass you right by. It moves so quick.
That's right.
So I want to make sure, as I said to Daniel, we have the Dayton races on Saturday. Yeah. I'm going to drive straight down to Lexington after Dayton, Amy and I. We're going to get up early in the morning on Sunday, and every horse I want to look at from day 1 and 2, which is a lot of them. Yeah. They will all be documented and all be looked at. Yeah. Now, this is the first year we're going to actually have a show down there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I know you see a lot of what we do. Yeah. And this is the cool thing is that, here's a guy that owns a number of horses. How many did you say you have?
Well, I've got, here in Canada? I've got I'm part owner or 1%, 2%, 5% shares of about 20 horses.
Well, there you go.
25 horses.
And the fact that we can keep him, a guy who has a full-time job now, you retired now, but this was before your retirement.
Yep.
Keep a gentleman like Daniel engaged from across an ocean about horses that he may or may never see says a lot of exactly what we're trying to do and the scope of what we're able to accomplish in this industry, and that says a lot for for prospective trainers out there. So I know I touched on it briefly. Daniel's over here. I got him into trotters, but the bug just hasn't set. It just hasn't leached right in there. And he's a pacer guy too, and he's been looking. I looked through your list, by the way. You did miss the one horse we talked about at the restaurant yesterday. Is not on your list that I looked at. I got it right here, by the way. So we'll be looking for.
But, I'm not totally against trotters. Look, there's nothing better than watching a great trotter.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
But there's nothing worse than watching them run.
Yeah. And at our last, I bought 7 horses last year at our sales, and 3 of them were trotters. So you can't say I don't like trotters, but
well, we're trying to squeeze you that way.
Yeah, no,
but I think on day 1 at Lexington, I know that Daniel, he'll probably be involved in some trotters, but I know he does have his eye on a couple of pacers. Yeah. And as I said to you, a lot of people saw what we did in Ohio. We bought that down by the Seaside Colt. There are a number of options moving forward in day 1, but this will be a better type horse. I mean, with you going on 160, 170 years old now, you want to have a good horse.
Oh, that's exactly right. I want to live out my life.
Yeah. One of these situations where if I die tomorrow, because I might.
You know,
I wanna make sure.
the whole idea of me wanting paces rather than a trotter is more so that if you get one good enough
Yeah.
to race in a jug or race in a Meadowlands pace or race in these type of races where that's the aim for every
Sure it is, and
every owner.
we've tried it. I know, like we had a little success this year selling horses. So far, we sold Una and a couple other horses. I mean, you talk about the Hamiltonian, right? The Elite Lop for Sweden.
Yeah.
The Elite Lop. Multiple breeders' crowns, things of that nature. There's great races on both sides. My trepidation towards pacers is I want to believe that, and it may not be accurate at all, but in my mind, the meaning, the true meaning of horsemanship is on display a lot more, and that's certainly not to take anything away from pacing trainers. It's not an easy game on either side of the fence, but I want to believe that there's a little more destiny controlled in the burn than just having the best horse that can go the fastest on the track. You know, a beautiful pacer or a trotter is a thing of beauty, but they're so hard. I mean, we have a horse that's selling Monday. My father's horse is selling Monday. Here's a horse that's won 6 of 7 races. The only time he's been beat, he was second. He had to race in the Prospect Series, which wasn't even the grassroots. He took a mark of 154 and 2, and he's borderline useful. And it's just such a feast or famine game on the pacing side. It feels that way to me. That it feels like we're playing it safer with trotters, and that may not be the case at all. But it's good to have you here. It's good to have to let our clients. You know, I don't reference you very often because we never know when you're going to be gone.
These things.
I don't reference you often because people don't know who Daniel Cordina is. You're on the other side of the ocean, but he is a major player in horse racing in Australia. You're still on the board of directors, right, at Menangle?
I'm the board of directors at Menangle, and I'm on the board of directors of the New South Wales Owners Association.
Yeah, so I mean, he would be the equivalent of the board of directors at Mohawk and on the SBOA here in Ontario, or even the Hamiltonian Society for that matter. And it's great to have you here. It's great for everybody to put a face to a name. You know, we talk about people that have joined the stable. It's important. My grandfather told me a long time ago. I always remember this because my father used to say it, and I knew where he got it from when I heard him say it. Was you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with.
That's exactly right.
If you have good people, good quality people around you all the time, then that's what you'll be. That's what you'll end up being. And you know, you haven't met my brother Curtis. I'll try and introduce you to him before it's all over. Curtis is the top of his profession when it comes to video and editing and things of that nature. Simulcasting, amazing skills. Kelly Spencer, you met. You know, the work that Kelly put in was, and she does that every day. Every day, it's like endless for her. And not many of you met Wendy. Wendy, that's our bookkeeper. You know, Wendy, we're all wired the same. I could send Curtis a message at 11 o'clock at night, or Kelly, or Wendy, and if I sent them all three with the same message, they would all respond. And it's because we all know how hard it is to move forward, and that's the same in every industry. So it's good that you're here. It's good to put the face to the name for many people that maybe don't know it, because they see the stable.ca, the horse, the stable, Carter Michael Dio or whatever. You don't know who's in that stable. Well, Daniel plays a major role from another side of the ocean, and we're very lucky to have him and a number of other clients here. So I thought I'd take the time, as we're still waiting for my family, thought I'd take the time to introduce you to everybody at the stable and let them know that we are going to be in Lexington in full force. It should be a very exciting sale for us. Very difficult for me because, you know, not only am I left looking for value, but I'm looking for value in every form of horse. So that's not an easy thing to do. So with that, I'll let you guys go. It's going to be an exciting night, as I said. I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to wake up tomorrow depressed. Crantini's given us a great ride. He's going to be a good horse for us for a very long time. Taiwan has been good too, long shot or otherwise. She's always got a shot. And it's been a great 2022. How's it been for you in Australia?
It's probably a better year for me this year on the horse side. I've had a few more winners than I generally have. But that's been good. It's been very good. I'm happy with the way things are going.
The trotters you referenced earlier, did any of them do anything yet this year?
The babies. I bought a.
Oh, they're not. See, I fall into that trap too. Is that your sale is in August, right?
No, our sales are in February, March.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Ours are in November.
Yeah.
Yours are in February, March. So you're
That's right.
3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought a Sebastian K colt, and I bought a Muscle Mass colt, and I bought a Volstead colt.
Volstead, for any of you following along, Volsteads were really, really expensive in Ohio.
Actually, I saw one today on
Gate. What did he go for?
Well, he was there. The last bid I saw was about 40,000.
Yeah, they were so strong, the Volsteads, and I'm not taking anything away from them. I didn't know enough about them, but they sold really, really, really high in Ohio. So a highly touted and highly expected sire for next year. The Muscle Mass, you're gonna like them. They're nice horses.
Yeah.
Sebastian K.
Yeah.
Good luck. Anyway,
well, the only reason why I bought the Sebastian K because it's a limited sale. There was only 50 horses.
Yeah.
And there was only about a half a dozen trotters.
Yeah.
And there's a $50,000 race.
Oh, for that sale.
For that sale.
Oh, so you have 1 in 6 chance.
Exactly.
Wow.
You know.
What do they pay for? Just not that I'm saying anything, but what do they pay for 6th?
Well, there's a smaller pool of horses.
Yes. Oh, I know. We talked about this today.
We've got a better chance of winning.
We talked about that today. There was a horse selling, a Maryland bred selling, and I had a little nap, and I knew it was selling later on, and I set an alarm.
Yeah.
But I was up before the alarm, and when I scrolled through, it was already at 18,000 with like an hour left, so you're probably going to bring 25, 30,000.
Yeah.
Some really weak portions of that sale today, but some strong. And you and I are going to the sale tomorrow.
Yep.
Also a win back, so it's going to be a little chilly, a little rainy, so we're going to dress a little warmer. I don't know what to take of this sale. I'll pull the sale up.
Well, I had a.
You did? You're sick. You're sick.
I flicked through the sale and
the one tomorrow, the win back sale.
Yeah. Oh, not the win back sale. The
London Select.
The London
Yeah,
Select.
you're gonna be back in Australia when that's going.
Yeah, well, thank God, because there's nothing there. There's nothing really there to say.
I'd just like to say that I do not condone anything he says. The win-back sale, I mean, they're always going to be a little watered down. Win-back sale is win-back's horses for the most part. There's a few other horses in there. The Select sale in Ontario there are some very good Select horses in there. We are going to look, Ontario, as I said to everybody today, it's a little bit its own beast because we're going to be picking up horses for Ontario in Lexington, Harrisburg. The London Select, we might buy 1 or 2 tomorrow. Danny gave me a list of 5. Now, Mario told me 1 or 2 he liked. Good. Danny gave me a list of 5 to look at tomorrow. So I'm going to go through those as soon as we get there tomorrow, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I'll give you a list of none.
A list of 0?
Yeah, a list of 0.
Yeah, your shopping bag's a little different than the one for Winback tomorrow. So I will, as I said, this is Daniel Cordina. Every so often when we run into our clients, whether they be at in Ohio, I meant to give a shout out. There's a nice little girl. I met her at a fair. And her I assume, no, it was her uncle. Her uncle and her father come up to me and said, we watch all your videos. So I knew there had to be somebody. We watch all their videos, and Paisley watches all your videos. The little girl, she's a sweet little girl. And they told me, they said, by the way, the tires on your car are completely bald. they're completely trashed. So I saw him the other day. I can't remember his name. I saw him the other day, and I ran into him at the jug. I was coming out of the jug barn, and he was coming in. He said, I see you got those new tires on your car. So it's always great to run into people and talk to people, but it's good to catch up with Daniel. He's here till when do you go back? Monday?
I leave tomorrow to go to Monday to Michigan.
Yeah.
And then on the following Sunday I drive down to Kentucky.
Yeah. So as I said to everybody, if you want to make it to Lexington, if you have any time, it's a tough thing to do, but if you have the time, make your way to Lexington for this year's sale. It is going to be a lot of fun. So, Daniel, thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
See ya.